All right, folks. So here we are today again, and I'm trying to kind of like keep you guys informed and also give you a very tangible or useful information in regards of electric bikes. Just to the fact that the uh, the peer pressure on electric bikes is it's very high right now. Um, there are people that will go and buy electric bike from a electric bike shop or bicycle shop, and they'll overpay obviously because that's how it works. That's how the market is. Um, a seller is not going to buy a motorcycle. I'm sorry, electric bicycle for $500 and sell it to you for $500. They'll sell it for $700, which would give them a profit of $700 or $500 or whatever it is. So yeah, they buy it for 500. They sell it to you for 1,500 or whatever it is, and they make profit. Long story short, what bike? The question is, what bike should you buy? So there are three types of people. A person that goes out and buys a bike that is manufactured, already finished from A to Z, and it's an electric bike. And then it divides two classes with pedal assist, without pedal assist, with throttle, with thumb throttle, and all that good stuff. Okay, there bicycles class 1, 2, and 3, or A, B, and C, and one goes up to 25 miles an hour. The other one goes 35, and the other one goes 110, whatever it is. But these are the categories. These also are types of people, a person that goes in and buys a ready bicycle, electric bicycle to ride. A second person will go ahead and build his basic bicycle in a dark basement, and he will be very happy with his build. And then you have a third person that just over exaggerates and just builds a crazy ass bike that just gives him a headache. Now, question is, which bike should you buy? Should you buy a bike directly from a bike store? Should you build your own bike? Or should you over exaggerate and overshoot and just buy a crazy beast? Or build a crazy beast? So, at the end of the day, the purpose of electric bicycle is to commute or to have fun or use it as a leisure or some sort of hobby. Okay? But the reality is we all use it for transportation. Okay? We want to get from point A to point B. Some people would like to get there doing 25 miles an hour. Some people want to get there doing 70 miles an hour. Okay? I personally use my bikes off road. However, I lately have been not doing that because it's a lot of wear and tear, and it costs a lot of money to maintain an electric bike. Whether you have to change a bearing in a hot motor, or whether you have to update your battery or balance it, whatever it is, you still got to take out the cells, individual cells, and balance it that way. Okay, so battery is always the first thing that goes, and if you will negligently use your motor and uh, uh, more often than expected overheated, then it's going to cause a problem. For overheating, I suggest to buy a bigger motor wattage. I had a subscriber saying that, look, I would like to have a link for my build, and his build is 500 watts motor, but he wants to use it with 60-volt battery. Now, the biggest problem is, number one, I don't know how heavy that person is. Okay, and by the way, shout out, I forgot the person's names. I'm sorry, but shout out to everybody. Thank you so much. Off the subject, going back to the subject is, let's assume the person is an average Joe Schmo, not to insult anybody, with 180 pounds, 170-pound weight. Now, if you are 170 or 180 pounds, you're using a 500-watt motor, and you're using on 60 volts, you are pushing the very top limit of a motor. Remember, motor, we can connect it with 36 volt, 24 volt, 500, or any motor. And the less voltage you have, the less speed you're going to achieve. So this person is going to have 500-watt motor and 60 volts. Now that motor is going to be exhausted after some time of working. Why do I say that? Because what happens is, with high speed, you create heat friction. Okay, so under the load, the motor of 500 watts, it's really not going to perform as a motor that had 1500 watt. However, the person also states that that wheel is going to be a fat tire wheel, and I believe he's looking at the 20-inch. He's going to have the torque, he's going to have the power, but he's not going to have the watt. Okay, and also depends what kind of battery he will connect to that wheel. If you are, when I say what kind of battery, what I'm saying is the amp power and also the discharge. If you are connecting 60 volt and you're pushing at 20 amps or 10 amps, that's still lots of power. So, for example, hypothetically, let's just say that we're being extremely optimistic about the project that this young man is building, okay, which is great. And let's just say that he does have the 500 watt motor, and let's just over exaggerate it, and let's say that the motor peaks out at 1,000 watts. Okay, that's a peak power. That means at one certain point when you're going up the hill, down the hill, or you're accelerating really hard on a flat land, it's going to peak out at 1,000 watt. However, it's not going to operate 1,000 watts continuously. So if you're 160 or 170 or 180 pounds, let's say you are 160, which is a very lightweight, um, the motor has a big opportunity to be overheated, and then therefore all the components inside that are soldered into the wheel hub and the magnets pretty much will come right off. So I suggested for this young man, look, do at least on that fat tire 1,000 watts. However, if you're a heavier guy on a heavier set, you have to do, average Joe Schmo would do 1,500. Why 1,500? Number one, peak hour is awesome. Number two, the torque is very good. And number three, it's not a problem. You will get your 34-mile speed on that wheel if you need it. However, it's not about the speed, okay? It's about how long can you travel at a certain speed, okay? So, for example, I ordered a 5,000 watt motor. However, the continuous power on that motor is 5,000. The peak is 8,000. So, a certain given time from going up the hill, off the road, there's a gravel, there's a sand. The motor tends to work harder because of the sand, unlike flat land. I also have purchased street tires, not off-road, but street tires, so they are nice and smooth. There's not too much resistance. You do not want any resistance on your tires. Okay. Furthermore, there is a factor of the place you're running it on. That's why, see, if you have a 500 watt motor or system, uh, the controller is going to be crap. It's not going to do anything for you. Okay. Let's say you tweak the controller. Let's say you get the controller for 60 volts, and I mean 60 amp is going to be about 2,000 watts. You're pushing only 500. You're going to overheat that motor really badly. Okay. But I am telling you, you need to pick at least 1,000 watts. You can't do 500. 500 is it's not gonna make it. A quick example: my friend that we work out together at the gym, he's about 220 pounds, big dude, and he had a fat tire, 26-inch mountain bike, and all he had was continuous problems with his batteries, controller, and motor overheating. He was just too big for it. And in New York City, you got, stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. So that means that it just takes a lot of juice and a lot of heat to move that motor. And imagine if you stop and you go and you don't help the motor, you just put your feet back on pedals and you accelerate. I, on my build, which is a 1,000 watt build, would always give it that push on a very very first start. So I would probably get into like 10 miles, and then I would hit the throttle and have the bike move forward. That's the easiest way to help out your battery and to kind of be on a safe side that your battery will last you longer on that trip. And those numbers where it is 60 and 70 miles miles on a charge, that's not even possible on most of these batteries and bikes. Okay, moving forward. Okay, so now, so what kind of build should I buy or should I create? The easiest way to it is now to my builds. Okay, with the stealth frame. I just, yes, I'm going to have a left turn signal, right turn signal in the front, in the back, brake light, this and that. Oh my goodness. And guess what I said? I do not want a bike that is going to cause a problem, especially electric bike, and especially with electricity. I've done stock. I've done, you name it, I've done it. Okay? So what do you wanna have? You wanna have a bike, you turn the key on, you move. You turn the key off, you stop. Okay? You accelerate, you move, no problem. No wires being connected too many ways, across, whatever it is. All you want is a controller, your cables, okay, and your lights. Your step down, okay, to 12 volts. You connect your lights to that, and guess what? Like I said, I eliminated the big switch. You know, left turn, right turn, high beam, low beam, and horn. I did on off, on off. Okay, momentary switch for a horn, on off for the lights. Front light, tail light together. Front light always connected with high beams. Okay, that's it. Two switches. Okay. For the brakes, no disconnect. Okay, no sensors, nothing whatsoever. Okay, uh, throttle, thumb throttle. Don't like to do this all day. Twist my wrist all day and be in pain all day. I've done it and it hurts a lot, especially when you're older guy, like 48 years old. It could be cool, you know, for couple minutes, 20, 30, 40 minutes, but you know, in a city, you know, you're not gonna go ready to go like this all the time. You're just gonna keep it down or up or whichever it is. Okay, but thumb throttle, and still my thumb kind of like goes numb anyway for holding so much. I don't have cruise control. Don't care for it. Brakes, there's no cutoff. Okay, let's say you want to do a burnout wheel or whatever. With a cutoff, you can't do it. I could, but am I gonna do it? Nah, waste of tires. Just, I don't like cutoffs on my motor. If you going to stop and you know there's people admiring your build, your project, turn off the ignition. Make sure when they push on that throttle or pull or twist, you have no juice in the bike. So it doesn't take off because I tell you, the 40 amp, the 80 amp, the 100 amp, the 150 amp, man, that thing takes off like a goddamn rocket here. Okay? So, moving forward, at the end of the day, make sure you build a build that is easy, simple, where you can troubleshoot pretty much anywhere in the middle of the street. Until then, folks, be safe and ride safe.